and welcome back to the best thing you watched. This is the best thing you watched, hopefully. It should be entertaining. That's Chris from Movies and Munchies. This is Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. And we've got an interesting collection of the best things we watched. We're also going to be starting the worst things we watched in our audio exclusive section, which we normally do a review that for a film that one of us hasn't seen for a while or we've never seen. We rotate on who chooses the film to review. We have our own list, and so we're going to be doing that in the audio exclusive. Patreon, we have new videos dropping weekly. It's on there for £1, and we have new people joining us almost every week now, it seems like. So thank you for being on our community there. Do check out the cornucopia of content we have there. And we also start with movie quizzes every week, which Chris has been doing for a while now. He's yet to be fired. I started that. I thought I was doing a good job, and then we swapped over and nobody has fired him yet. So guys, you want to swap that over, come on now.
Ruben's getting tired of asking the questions.
Ruben's running out of questions.
It gets difficult, doesn't it?
No, I'm fine. I don't know what it's talking about. But I'm glad to be here. Chris, I'm glad to see your face. Hopefully we can speak in coherent sentences. Has your week been all right, Chris?
Yeah, it has. It's been a little slower, I think. We go in those waves where sometimes the content is like overwhelming and it's just a tidal wave of stuff to watch.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of a slower part. And this was kind of in the slower part for the most part. I mean, it ramped up towards the end of the week, which there's a lot of stuff that I still haven't gotten to reviews on, I mean, you feel that. And so
it's so much.
Yeah. And there's been the variety of stuff like, yay, that was kind of fun, or poo.
I did feel like there was a lot. It felt like there was a lot wrapping up. There's a lot there's no ways we can cover it all. Even if it was the best thing we watched, there's some weeks that we just don't have time to talk. Or this would be like a 7-hour podcast otherwise. And I'm sure you guys want to listen to us talk for 7 hours, right?
Yeah, everybody does.
Everybody in the world. Even the Queen. No, I can't say that anymore. That's sad. Oh, I got sad.
The Queen Consort? Is that what she's going to become? Camilla?
Oh, I just thought of the Queen.
Consort.
But it was the
Queen.
Queen.
Well, yeah, but she's not the Queen.
No, it has to be
the King. It's good to be the King.
Charles, and he definitely won't watch. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
If anybody knows any royals, share this video with them. Anywhere in the world, we'd love to have some royalty watching, and then I can do this properly and drink my tea with the pinky and say things like, "How now, brown cow."
I don't even know. What are we doing?
I don't know. Should we start? Do you want to do the
yes,
quizzes?
Probably.
All right. We'll lose everybody.
Yeah, hi Royals, how you doing? Okay, so movie quote quiz, as Ruben had mentioned, still have not been fired yet. It's been close, a couple weeks there. Yeah. Last week I did a theme.
Yes.
And Chris Retzlaff won, and he answered with additional quotes, which one of them almost stumped me. I had to actually go look it up because I'm like, seriously, is this part of
the movie?
Wow. Yeah, it's been, okay. So I appreciate that. But the answers: What About Bob? Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Great film. And
Red.
Ah, of course, Red.
So the theme with that one was Richard Dreyfuss.
Right.
That's the first time I've really.
Oh
yeah,
he's the dude in the house. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm the bad guy. Remember? Yeah. So yeah, the first time I did a theme. So I decided I was going to do another theme this week.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Not going to tell you what it is. I think the first two are easier than the last one. Let me just say that. If you're a fan of this of the third movie, then you're going to get it right away.
Cool.
But anyway, okay. Ready?
Yep.
All right. You lousy corksorkers. You have violated my fargan rights. Dis Sumnanabatching country was founded so that the liberties of common patriotic citizens like me could not be taken away by a bunch of fargan iceholes like yourselves.
Nice.
Do you know what that is?
I have an idea.
Okay. Number 2. You just fulfilled the first rule of law enforcement. Make sure when your shift is over, you go home alive. Here endeth the lesson.
I think I know this one.
All right. And number 3. No matter how big a guy might be, Nicky would take him on. You beat Nicky with fists, he comes back with a bat. You beat him with a knife, he comes back with a gun. And if you beat him with a gun, you better kill him, because he'll keep coming back and back until one of you is dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure on all of these, to be honest. You might have stumped me on all of them.
Uh-oh.
Like, I have ideas of what I think they are, but I'm not positive. Okay. Nice. Wow.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments. Give us your guesses. And then, Ruben, do you have a question for us?
I don't. I don't. Okay. I looked and I said, no, these are all boring. These are too emotional. That's not funny. That's not something you want in a podcast. And then I thought about asking you a movie question again, like how many so-and-so, and I was just like, no, there's a done. So we're just going to get straight into it.
Okay. It's
like, I'm done with the questions.
Fair enough. Cool. Okay, well, then what was the best thing you watched this week?
Yes. Okay. Where do we start? I had so much. I didn't like. There was so much. Like I said, with things wrapping up. Mandalorian. Did you watch the last episode?
I did watch the last episode. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was excellent. Action heavy. Like, again, this series has put me on a proper roller coaster because I've loved the story. But like you mentioned last week, when you watch it episode to episode, it's a bit just conjointed. If you watch it together as a whole, it feels much more conjoined. Wow.
Cohesive.
Yeah, cohesive. Wow, yeah. Thank you. Just when I don't speak, just finish the sentences. So this one, I was glad they went the way they did. I'm glad we got to see some things I've never seen, like Mandalorian's space battle versus guys with armor that, you know, you don't know who's going to win. So the intensity is there. You don't know who's going to die. Like, you literally were on the edge of your seat. All of that kind of, I've never seen that. I've probably seen similar in animation, but I've never seen that live action. I was like, this is awesome. Every bit of the editing is classic Star Wars or even Marvel, where they have a number of fights happening around the situation and they're just cutting into it, making it really exciting. The thing I don't like about it is at the end, it's setting up as if we may not get another season. There's like a finality to it.
Yeah.
Although we know we're getting a Mandalorian movie, it could be that we'll never see Pedro or Grogu again. Like they could be off in the ether doing what they're doing or not. You know, that could be it. And so, as much as I liked the series, the third season, I do feel like the first two seasons were stronger. So I feel like if I were to rank them, I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett.
The 2 Mandalorian episodes were excellent. And really helped kind of create the lore. But like, from costume design, set pieces, editing, acting, monster creature, all that, so good. Like, it was a real entertaining ride, and that's what I wanted. I kind of wish there were more episodes this season. I felt like there needed to be a bit more.
I agree with that. I mean, from the action standpoint, I loved it. You know, there were so many different like little bits that I loved. Where are they TIE interceptors? Is that what they are? Oh my gosh! First off, those are just awesome looking. But then the whole dropping and then whoosh, taking off, you know, just one by one, just going. But that scene in the clouds where all the Mandalorian ships go down through the clouds and you just see the top of the clouds for a second, and then the Imperial, you know, fire
executed so well,
so good.
The plan was excellent.
The Mandalorians, just all of them jetpacking through the thing. Parts of it reminded me of Iron Man.
Oh, I can see that.
You know,
yeah, for sure.
The way the look and the feel of it, the first Iron Man,
Yeah.
where we really there was a good realism to the effects. You know what I mean? Where you saw him, it actually felt like he was part of it, and he was really in it. And so that part, I mean, you know, there's that where they're all flying, and Bo-Katan just pulls out, you know, the Darksaber, and you're like,
oh, it's so cool.
That are we about to? We are. That's going to be outstanding. Yeah. But yeah, I think, like, as much as I enjoyed the overall story arc, especially because I binged really most of episode 1 through 6. 7. Were there 7 episodes?
There's 8 altogether.
8 episodes. Okay, through 7.
Yeah.
Whatever. I binged, you know, the half of the first one through the second to last one, all is one watch. And so I really appreciated that arc. I loved it because it really did tie in. You get to see all of the nuances there. But like you said, I'm not sure what. So we were just really, was this the transition of setting up Mandalore,
this
right?
Does feel like a transition to the next bunch of not just Mandalore, but next bunch of Star Wars movies. And I'm a bit disappointed in that, because what made The Mandalorian so great, especially that first season, was that it could be its own thing. Like, and it was incredible to watch. So much fun. Nods to all the Star Wars stuff, creatures, places we visit, but doesn't need to be connected to other things, because we don't know what's happening in our world, and our real world affects movie entertainment industry. If something's going to happen to an actor or an actress, or a studio goes bust, and then all those plans, and then it feels disjointed. And so we're getting a lot of that now within DC, you know, and even the MCU. There's a big shakeup happening at the moment, which we can talk about in a bit. But yeah, so as much as I loved it, I was still going, so this is how you wanted to finish it?
I really would have preferred that arc of it that continues on to be the sub story. Yeah. You know, and because then you feel very satisfied. So if Mando's story even ends, like even if Mando and Grogu, their arc wraps up, but you have a storyline for them of them doing something, a quest, a journey, whatever, a challenge. Then it feels like, okay, this is the show that I've been watching. And so I get that. And then the smaller part of it allows me to continue on, and it makes that the continuation. So, yeah.
When I was watching the last episode, I was also going, what a time to be alive, where we can watch new Star Wars like this as a series and complain about it. I was like, I shouldn't be complaining at all, really, because this is new Star Wars, and as a Star Wars fan, I'm always loving the expansion of the universe. I feel sometimes there's a purity that's nonsense that we should just get away from. Like, our original trilogy is so hard. We can't have anything new, and anything that changes the formula. How dare I? I don't like what you did with Jar Jar Binks, and I don't like what you did with that Jedi. And you can't change the Force to that way. Leia can't fly in space, and blah 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 blah. It's like, are you kidding? It's just new creative Star Wars, and the universe is expanding to incorporate more and more fans. Because isn't having more fans good? Like, we want to keep the thing that we like just to us, but then you never get anything new. You just sit there with your original, and that's it forever. You're like, okay, that's my rant over. I was just like, yeah, no, that's nonsense. We've got new Star Wars, and how cool is it?
Well, yeah, because how long did we go? You had only a couple of years between 4 and 5. A handful of years till 6, and then nothing for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't like a movie. That's totally fine. Yeah. I know that's not what you're saying. It's just that let's stop poo-pooing on the fact that we have stuff. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a fan of the stuff that works, and the stuff that doesn't, that's fine. I want to be positive about the stuff that does work. And Grogu and the Mandalorian as son and father, man, that's awesome. Their relationship is brilliant.
I love that they actually now, even before the end,
Yeah.
of this show. Grogu was referenced as his son by other people around him. Go get your son. Yeah. And it's like that. Okay.
It's totally what it is now. It's great. I do like. Yeah. I would love where it ends. I would love that to be a series on its own. I don't necessarily want them to be like their little adventures that they could go on. I guess, you probably have seen it by now, or there's not really a spoiler, but bounty hunting together, that would be an excellent story. I would watch that for days.
And them just sitting off on their own little their cabin out on the outskirts of that town, of Navarro. Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah. Grogu needs to never learn to talk and just have the robot that goes, no, 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 no. Yes, no, no.
So funny. But you know what he didn't do, which I'm a little bummed at, not massively by any means. I just think it would have been a funny thing as a side gag, but using the robot to get to other food. You know what I mean? And to carry more food with him.
That would have been great.
You watch the robot just walk through the background carrying all this food.
I do wonder how powerful Yoda was when he was young, and whether Grogu, when he's older, could have been more powerful than Yoda, because there's a fight sequence with Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian and Grogu at the end, and they're basically fighting together. And there's a moment where we see Grogu use the Force. And it's a pretty hefty amount of force that he has to use to stop them from all dying, right? And continued. And I was like, I've seen some top-notch Jedi in the films we've seen not be able to do that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever seen that type of force usage.
Yeah. Like, he knew they were about to die, and he was just like, bam!
Yeah. And Bo-Katan with her little shield, I don't know what that was going to do.
I don't know what was she trying to do with that. That was never going to save you from anything.
It's a dinner shield. Plate.
Who's that for? Who designed that?
I don't know. It's so funny.
So funny.
Oh, goodness.
And going back to force powers.
Yeah.
Going back to way back when on the Phantom Menace. Do you remember when Anakin and Obi-Wan... No, it was Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. They're facing the droidy cars. They come with shields and go... And they suddenly speed away. They do like super fast speed. That's never been used again. We've never seen them use those powers. It's like a one-time super fast run, and now they can't do it ever. They've just suddenly forgotten.
Well, they probably got really tired.
Yeah. It's a one-time use force.
Exactly. Oh, I don't ever want to do that again. Let's not tell anybody.
I don't like the feeling of that. Yeah, we're just gonna write that out in YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so it's still the best thing I watched because I love it. I think it's a really fun series. But
it was fun.
It's great. Yeah.
Cool.
What's his face was totally Vader. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah. Oh. Well, and I loved his. I mean, just the entire outfit was outstanding.
Cool. Yeah,
so good
and badass and harrowing and scary, and it almost has some of that presence as Vader. Like, you don't know, like, are they going to be able to survive this? Yeah.
But and
yeah,
there's that question. Yeah. So.
All right. On. So what was the best thing you watched this week?
For me, big surprise, honestly. And I say this legitimately because it's an American production. But The Diplomat with Kerry Russell and Rufus Sewell. Wow. So we have just the quick overall premise. Kerry Russell is an ambassador, a U.S. ambassador, who is supposed to go to Afghanistan. And because of an international incident, she is then, the gears are switched, and she is called to London to be the ambassador to Great Britain, or the United Kingdom, so that she can help talk things down. Now, her husband was an ambassador. He was the rock star type of guy. He ruffled like feathers across the world, but he's still very connected. They have a tumultuous relationship, but she's the one in charge. And I love that Kerry Russell, through this, she doesn't She didn't want to be there. I mean, think about it. Like, we get these small little bits of what ramifications happen because she didn't go to become as the ambassador to Kabul. You hear about oh gosh, and you see how it weighs on her.
Yeah.
But then she's so gruff and she's so no nonsense, but she's so wildly intelligent.
Yeah.
And does things differently than a lot of other people. Now, she still relies on the expertise of things, and because of her the tumultuous relationship she has with her husband, going to him to get advice is always that double-edged sword, because she lets him in, and we know that he has his own political schemings that he kind of works in the background, but his techniques are not always I don't know,
nice.
Above board? Maybe, yeah.
He doesn't play fair, which I guess nobody in politics really does, but he will always take the darkest road possible.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is a smartly written show. I mean, it is intelligent. The dialogue is quick. It is witty. It's not dumbed down. So it performs at a higher level, which makes you have to pay attention to it and understand what's going on and follow along. And so that I think it's easy to follow along. I don't think that it's so like, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's just that you have to, this is not one that you tune out of, you watch, but I don't think that it's easy to tune out of this, because the writing, the acting, all of the interactions, I mean, there are so many great performances in this, and the conflict and the tension between the characters. I know you watched it. What did you think?
This is it's a good reason why everyone in the world should watch The West Wing. it's showrunner from The West Wing, and Homeland. You've ever seen Homeland? Really intense series.
Yeah.
Well acted, but dark. And then you get, on the other side, some of the best dialogue written ever in The West Wing. So you take bits of that. But this series does its own thing, which I really like. So it's like an amalgamation of those things. Madam Secretary, loved Madam Secretary, but it feels like it's its own thing. It's also a little bit Bridgerton. I wouldn't say old. Like, we have a series here that's really popular. I'm trying to think. Really timey-wimey. What's the really popular British with a
Downton Abbey?
Yes, thank you. My brain. It's not quite Downton. It's more Bridgerton because it's more kind of tongue-in-cheek and a bit more raunchy. But then, there's lines like, you got to sink your teeth into the princess version, where the pomp and happenstance of how the British do things. With it always kind of melds from that royalty into politics, and there's that amalgamation. And so seeing a woman who just is in it for the job, then have to go from wearing pants to proper gowns or beautiful dresses, having to even brush her hair, which seems to be an issue for her because she's just she's always disheveled.
Can't be bothered.
No, she's just I'm just here to save the world. I don't need to. She doesn't really quite get that the other half of her job is how she looks. It's all about meet and greet and putting on a face so that you can get in the room with those people that you need to sort out the crap, because everybody's acting like 2-year-olds, even though they're intelligent people. If they all sat down and actually communicated properly, it'd be fine. But nobody does that because everybody's out to save their own country and benefit them. And so you've got to play these espionage roles in every sort of circumstance. And this person bummed me, therefore I'm going to retaliate in kind without starting a world war. But everything seems to want to start a world war. It's exciting and intense pretty much the whole way through, even though it's dialogue heavy. And that, like you said, comes down to the really I would say fast dialogue, but it's snappy. The way they're having conversations is, I don't think people have conversations like this in every day. It's definitely hyper realized, even in politics, because in politicians tend to use bigger words to say the least amount of thing. But
Yes.
here it's they're saying stuff that's really interesting to listen to, often quirky and funny because of how they're retorting, but with intelligence. You listen and you come away feeling like you're smarter. Like you don't feel like, oh, I've lost time and my brain has just died because I just watched this series. This time you come around going, that was freaking excellent. And I wish the world ran like that with people that are as smart as that, that sort of thing.
And I love the surprises that it was able to include in there. Like I think when Kerry Russell's character has a meeting with a Russian dignitary, and what that leads to, because it's not what you think, and yet it's very intense. Yeah. And it is, it's stressful because there are urgent time constraints placed on this interaction.
Yeah.
And, and all of the cloak and dagger that happens, because I know this thing, but I can't say that I got it from this source. I have to let it get out a different way. And to convince people, because if this person, like Rory Kinnear as the prime minister, oh my gosh, what a
douchebag.
He's perfect for the role.
In the role. Yeah.
He is. But to get him to act on the way that I want him to act, I have to have him believe that it comes from something else, or I have to make him believe that it's his idea.
Yeah.
And
so it can't come from me. It's got to come from 3 other people down the line. But make sure it gets to him in time and that he acts on it. It's like Inception. You're playing Inception on every person.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. The storytelling too, because it's so compressed and it's so heightened with the anxiety and the urgency of what's going on, because it's just this building international crisis and incident that, the trying to figure out who is responsible.
The whodunit is patterned right from the beginning, which makes you really want to watch every single episode. It's not very complex, but it has many pathways. So it's not like a difficult series to watch. The complexity isn't like, because some series just go on tangents, right? And then they come together at the end and you kind of understand what they did. This has a few paths, but you're always following it. So it keeps you, the viewer, like you're intelligent as well. Sorry, carry on.
No. That's an excellent point. Yeah, I saw some comments online that, which I knew were going to come about because it's a female-led show. There are fragile people that just can't handle a woman being
as an ambassador.
Well, no, just being a woman in the show as a driving force in the show.
There's been loads of shows like this already. Madam Secretary for one.
Oh, I know Veep. The whole
I know. What are they all about?
I don't know. It's so funny, but for me, I'm like, we literally have decades and decades of where men are in the forefront and the women are just the house, the dressing.
And everybody knows that it's the joke that behind every successful man is a powerful woman. It is often true. In the show, they mentioned, when he was the ambassador for 20 years, she was always fixing his mistakes because the way he ambassaded was always big and massive and messing. Yeah, that's a word now. Ambassaded.
Totally a word. Yeah. Totally a word.
And then my wife will come in and edit my script and go, that's not a word. We're going to use something else. Oh, get over yourselves, man.
Yeah. Oh, no. But I love that he talks about himself as the wife now.
Yeah.
Rufus Sewell. Yeah, exactly. Because the roles have been reversed.
The roles are reversed.
And it works. I thought, and Kerry Russell is she's brilliant in this.
If you're so insecure about yourself, then you'd have an issue with that as a man. I looked at that and thought, support your lady who's doing a great job. What's the issue with that?
Yeah, yay, I'm glad that you're awesome, first off. So, and then doesn't that say a good thing about you? To have
a real world example, a wolf pack will often have 2 alphas, one that leads in the front, one that leads in the behind, that protects the family unit ahead. There's nothing wrong with a dude protecting his family unit while they're all off the front. You're watching the corners. And come on, man.
So
man.
Yes, exactly. Well, I know, I mean, both of us had the same main issue with the series. I think the biggest negative.
It's brave. It might be stupid.
It is. It might be stupid, yeah. Because that's the thing, that if to end on a cliffhanger, which was brilliant, by the way. I mean, it was a great cliffhanger.
Great cliffhanger, yeah.
It was rude, because, but if it's not renewed, as great as everything I just watched is, it's useless.
I actually said in my review, at the moment it's 4.5. Nicolas Cage is up at 5. If it's cancelled, I'm dropping it to 3.5, because you should have written a way where your story, this arc, could be concluded and leave something for a second season, rather than the big part of it hanging. Because you got to know who you've been bought by, right? Like who you made for. It's Netflix. You got to be like in top 5 of all time to get a sequel.
Well, because they renew the things that I don't understand. They renew, like there's a series that we might talk about in the audio part that got a second season, that I don't understand how it got a second season when brilliant things get canceled right away. I don't. So yeah.
So we'll see. But that was excellent. Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was. This topped my list of the week. So
that's really good. Okay, so next on my list is, last week I talked about a new anime series starting, and I mentioned one that everybody should watch. This week I jumped onto another new one, trying to catch up, and there's a very beloved manga series called Hell's Paradise that's now been put into anime, and there's the first 3 episodes are out. I'm going to try and explain what it is in my own words without reading the synopsis. Okay, so this is all about ninjas. A young baby, his parents are killed by the guy that adopts him. Okay, so already dark. And then he is trained to be a ninja, because these are like Shogun the best. The way they train is very much like 300 Spartans, very few survive. If you survive, you end up with amazing amounts of power and strength and knowledge and all of that. And he becomes the most ruthless assassin like there is, the top in that, like nobody can kill him. It starts off where he's been captured and they're trying to behead him, and the sword breaks on his neck because he's that strong. Yeah, it just goes bang, and they're like, and he was like, damn it, I didn't die. Why can't I die? He thinks that he's a husk of a man, that he has no emotion because he's just killed thousands, right? At some point, he got married to the Shogun's daughter. And he's deluding himself that he doesn't have feelings for her, but he doesn't really understand that she's actually been changing it, because she's such a nice person. She's been speaking to him, saying that no, there is something inside of you. There is more to you than this ninja assassin thing. So because he's been captured, he gets sent on a mission. He realizes that he actually does have feelings for this wife, but he abandoned his ninja assassins because I guess he's trying to keep her safe by not being around her. That kind of makes sense in a broken man's mind. So he leaves it, but you're not allowed to leave. You can't just leave them. So he gets tracked down by this other woman who's been also really powerful. And she's been sent on a mission to get a bunch of bandits and bad guys, really ruthless guys that are on death row, that have skills, to go to an island and get basically this immortal thing. If you drink it, you can become immortal, and the emperor wants to be immortal. So, selfishly, go get me this thing. I've heard it's real. But on this island is just monsters and creatures, and very few survive. So that's our arc. They get thrust on the island. It doesn't matter who survives. It's just long. There can only be one that survives. So all of the bandits
Islander.
and yeah, basically all of them are going to fight each other and see who wins, and then try and beat all the evil things that are on the island, as well as the people. Every bandit gets a watcher, a person that looks after them in a way that if they try and abandon their post, they'll get killed by them. So every watcher is like super talented and strong, except for our main protagonist, who's just ridiculously powerful, and seeing him fight is great. So far, every episode has gotten better, and I love the first episode. I've watched 3. I spoke to my son's friend who's read all the manga, and he says honestly, it just gets better and better. It's one of his favorite. He's read all of them, I think, or all of that are available. So I highly recommend. It's on Crunchyroll.
Okay. Cool.
First episode's been dubbed in English as well, so if you only listen to English, they've started doing that. So it's only 2 weeks behind, so they'll be catching up pretty quick. I listened to the English dubbing, it was good, and then I listened to the original, obviously better because the actors are there. So
Sure, yeah.
It's good fun. I love this season. We get like really new creative, and you just go through the ones that are like, yeah, that's not my cup of tea, and then you just add to your list, and you got some new anime. And animation can do so much because you don't have to actually blow things up. Yeah,
Yeah. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just your imagination.
If I were on the island, I would just kind of sit back and let everybody else do their thing against each other, and then,
The last few batches of men that tried to go to the island came out looking like flowers had sprouted all over their bodies.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, a bug bit them, and then flowers grew.
Oh. Hopefully it's a good smelling flower. That way you just smell good as you go along.
No, you die.
Versus...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It kills you.
Okay.
Not nice flowers.
Not nice flowers. Okay.
More like
So-
Little
was
Shop
called-
of Horror flowers.
Oh. Feed me, Seawar. Exactly. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So Hell's Paradise is what it's called?
Hell's Paradise.
Nice. Okay. Do you, or how long are the episodes? Are they like the 24-minute or 22?
Standard anime length. Yeah.
And do you have any idea how many episodes are going to be in the first season?
I'm guessing probably the standard 12. That's normally what they go for in these. Yeah. But beautifully animated. Action's great. There were no like slow down in, because sometimes you have anime that they spend their budget in the action moments, and then everything else, like the background characters, they don't even have
Become
faces
just
sometimes.
flat.
Yeah, this so far I think it feels like it's animated in every bit. There were no frames taken out, so they spent their time. They have a lot of love for it, obviously. So
Nice.
the rating is 4.9 out of 5, and it of 28,000 people have voted that. So I would say that's fairly good. Yeah,
It might be okay. Yeah, people are enjoying that a little bit.
It's okay.
Cool. Right on. Well, I saw a movie.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yay. No, I went, we didn't have any screeners for this around me. So I bought tickets.
You went with your family?
Yes, my youngest son ended up having to work, so he didn't get to go. My daughter-in-law was like, "Absolutely not! I'm not going to this." Which we knew that she probably would have hated. My wife was on the fence all the way up until actually being in it, and then even still was like, "I don't know." But we went and saw Evil Dead Rise.
Yes.
And
where's mommy? Mommy's with the what
Mommy's
now?
with the maggots. Mommy's with the maggots. I gotta say, if you're a fan of the originals, Sam Raimi's campy classics, Evil Dead, this one,
It's not this.
well, it retains a little bit.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
kind of cool. It brings in little bits here and there. Sometimes they're dialogue, sometimes they're visuals, and it's cool. The great Easter eggs that are in there. I mean, they're, they amp it up. Now, this movie, just like the 2013 remake or reboot, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it's much more serious. It has a serious tone. It doesn't go the campy route that the originals did. So it is violent. I mean, it is
It looked it
just
from the trailers.
it is. There are parts in this movie where you're like, oh, yee, you know, where we just the story itself is really good because instead of having your cabin full of idiot teenagers that could be disposable, we have a family now. And the family is at the core. It really is, because now there's an emotional draw to this. And then to make the mom the possessed, demon possessed character.
And also, doesn't it mean if you've read from the book and you get possessed by that, I always thought that was the end of you. Mummy really is the Magus now.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's dark.
Yeah.
And the way I applaud them for the way that they introduce how the book is read, how the demon is summoned. It feels organic within the movie.
Okay.
And you go back to something that my son had told me that he had read someplace, is that characters don't actually generally don't know the genre of movie they're in. So our character happens upon the Book of the Dead in this. Okay, but he doesn't know he's in a horror movie.
Yeah, that's good.
So for him, it's curiosity. You know what I mean?
And what's this?
Yes, and it's creepy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, ooh, what is that? And because of all the imagery that's in it, I mean, it's intriguing. It's like, ooh, wow,
sure,
what is that?
Most people
that's
can't
dark.
read Latin, right?
Well, and it's not even Latin. It's weird, because they talk about, they had to decipher the language. It wasn't just like that. And most of what we see in the book in this one is images rather than words or symbols.
Okay, cool.
But it gives us a bit that we saw in the trailer that has the like the lake and stuff. That's how the movie starts, and then it goes back a day, day, 2 days, so 1 day, I think, and then the movie goes from there,
right?
And it's tense. There is a ferocity to what's going on,
right?
And it builds and builds, and so the gore, the violence, the torment that happens is outstanding, but it doesn't, even though at the very beginning, the opening scene is gory and gross, it then takes that step back and it goes 20, 25 minutes maybe of nothing, so that we can get to know the characters, so that we can, we don't know them like in depth just constantly. We give enough context though, so that we understand the dynamic between the mom and her sister, and then the mom and the 3 kids, and just how all that works. So there is a connection there, we don't know them like inside and out, but it doesn't matter. The level of blood and guts and gore is outstanding.
They used like 20,000 gallons of blood, like something ridiculous.
Well, and there's one scene in particular that you see where the majority of that came from.
Right.
But remember when we watched, and I said this in my review, but remember when we watched Project Wolf Hunting, that movie that you found and told me about? That was bloody, right? And just gory. Yeah. This reminded me in certain ways of that, because it just gets, you have a lot of stabby action.
Nice.
I was never scared in the movie. Okay, it wasn't a scary movie to me. It's tense and intense, and it's
are they jump scares?
There are, but just like in the 2013 version, you get always these musical stings that happen.
Okay.
Like, and so
it's coming.
Yeah, and it actually becomes because I was aware of it. It became more annoying than anything.
Right.
Like those stings became like, ugh, gosh, stop. Just don't do that. Just, let it happen, But, so I didn't even jump. I mean, there weren't any, there were moments I think that could have become like that. But for me, I didn't jump. But I don't even remember the audience really even reacting like that.
Interesting. Okay.
The
trailer looks terrifying.
It is, it is, intense is a good word for it, because you can be invested and you can be nervous, maybe. I don't know if nervous is really the right word, but like just anxiety riddled a little bit because of the what you're watching. The visuals are horrifying. I mean, I'm not saying, when I said I wasn't scared, that doesn't mean that I wasn't like, that's terrible, and so it for me, it just didn't bubble up to something that creates fear. It creates like discomfort.
Jeremy Jan said he was laughing because of how much the actress that played the mum was enjoying herself in the role.
Oh, dude.
Did you ever find yourself laughing?
I don't think there were a couple times I think that I laughed a little bit, but I mean, she's phenomenal in it. I mean, she goes just full bore into the character, and and the dialogue is written.
If that was my wife who had gotten that role, then I'd watch the movie and then she's back home with me and she like does one of the lines, I'd be like, "You're sleeping on the couch tonight."
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can't do that. You don't get to do that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And I'm putting a lock on the door.
Yeah. Which we see doesn't always work. So,
Don't do that, Chris.
yeah, no. I think here's the deal. If you like the original Evil Dead movies, then I think you can really get a lot of enjoyment out of this, because it's a proper horror movie from the blood and the guts and the violence angle of that. And because it keeps some of the references from the originals in here, those are great tie-ins. It's like, and if you've never seen the originals, then you're not even going to get them. So it doesn't matter. It's not like they stand out or anything.
Doesn't have that one camera shot. You got to have it. And if you don't have it, then it's not yes. Where it follows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, good.
Yep.
You can't have an Evil Dead movie without that.
No, yeah, exactly. No. And so it's it's fun. I mean, I don't know, honestly, I don't know how memorable it is, and that might tick a lot of people off. I had a blast watching it. I mean, it was fun, but it's not something that haunted me or stuck with me. I mean, a couple of the visuals did, and those are
like a cheese grater.
Yeah. It's and the tattoo needle. So it's violent. So go see it. I think, I don't know if you should see it or not. I'm trying to.
I'm gonna see it, but I'm gonna wait until it comes to streaming.
So you're gonna bring it into your home? Okay.
No, but then I have a blanket.
But you can take a blanket to the cinema, see, and then you can cover up, and then you haven't invited the evil into your home.
That's true. That's very true. Maybe I won't watch it.
Yeah, I think you can have fun with it. Okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, I think you would definitely appreciate some of the nods, and you would applaud the creativity of the violence and the gore. And so yeah, there you go.
Okay, nice. I finally got to watch a Marvel film that I hadn't seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it 47%. On audience score, it's got 83%. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I loved it. It was great. I had so much fun with this. I was just like, what is everybody on about? I text my friend, he's like, did you watch Quantumania? What did you think? It's like, yeah, I loved it. It's like, see, and then text like my other friend John, he's like, did you? And I remember him saying that he enjoyed it and didn't love it, but okay, so it's very Star Wars. Like the one thing my wife said to me, this is Star Wars. It's like they're doing Star Wars, and it's like, yeah, I get it. It feels very much like all the variations of the creatures that you get in the quantum realm. So cool, many variations. So great to see them really using their imagination. Plausible story of why it happened. Kang, dude, eats up screen like no business, but also just the cast we have, just from Michelle Pfeiffer, who's fantastic, then all the way to Scott Lang, Ant-Man. The daughter father storyline I thought was nice, him not wanting to lose any more time with his daughter growing up and kind of wanting to be the hero, doing what a father has done, and then him having to come round. The repercussions now setting up for what's going to happen, because defeating Kang could mean the end of the universe, sort of thing. Or which Kang was he? There's a couple of end credit sequences that is setting up Loki and again future films. And this is where I come down to, holy crap, what is Disney going to do? Because the actor Jonathan Majors, he was obviously someone came forward and went, okay, he's been up to nonsense. He's now been dropped by his agent. He's been dropped by the studios. Since then, there's been 4 other females that have come forward and said, so now there's credence like that does. Normally when it's 1 or 2, you don't know whether somebody just wants the cash day, pay them off, and then they'll get a lot of their payday. And him as an actor or in interviews, I never thought that guy, it just seemed like a genuinely nice bloke. And he's gone to do Creed 3, a bunch of other films. He's just an incredible actor. So I was so surprised. But it does mean that if that's the case, they're going to have to recast the role of Kang, who they firmly established as Kang in Loki. Season 2's already been filmed, so we've got Kang there. We have this, and there was going to be 2 more movies that are ending it, like Endgame.
Yeah.
What the hell? This is what I was talking about Star Wars. You need your individual storylines.
Yes, when it's all connected like that, it causes a ripple. And well, even if we didn't go, even if it wasn't as just dark because of behavior, at least alleged behavior at this point, but Chadwick Boseman, these people are not immortal. Things will happen to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So whether it's behavior or whether it's sickness, and to have so many things, I understand you want that. We as fans want this. We want a universe built,
of course,
around
really
this that we can follow
it's
the
great
characters.
To have. It's like episodic episodes of a TV series, but in movie format.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The film, though, I love the film. I thought it was great.
What did you think of MODOK?
Okay, so MODOK was stupid. Okay, so that's fair. And I was literally asking, why did they do this to MODOK? MODOK is actually a pretty big deal when it comes to the Marvel universe. Big storylines. I used to see him. Who was it? Was it Spider-Man or was it Turtles? Anyway. Yeah, much bigger deal than what they made him into to be. Although, hilariously, one of my favorite lines is from MODOK in this film. I'm not a dick. They set up. They've set up. Like how they used him in the end, I thought was great, and they set it up, and that's fine.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of a redemption arc for that character. And it's pretty funny. Like, what happened to your face? Yeah, it's a whole big thing. And Scott, the actor, who plays Ant-Man, he makes it funny and worthwhile watching. So they wrote it that way. But seriously, yeah, I don't know what they did with Moto. I don't know what they were thinking. Hilarious.
Since you've just watched it, it'll be fresh in your head, which is helpful for me with this question, because I had seen some things. Some people say, raise this question. The fight at the end that happens between Kang and Ant-Man. Why doesn't Scott use the small, big, small, big, small, big? Do you remember why? Is he out of the punchy liquid thing?
I think that's it. But I think it was down to energy, actually, because him and his daughter had just been big. They had a big thing, and it was like, and she starts talking about, I'm so hungry, I could eat everything. And then she goes, I really want a lime. And he said, yeah, lime. And it's all about the electrolytes. So suddenly it's similar to the Flash. He's got to consume so much calories to keep up the energy from what happens when he's going fast. For them, it's big. And I feel like, yeah, that didn't bother me. That was just how he was going to have to fight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just, it was more curious because I couldn't remember
if he has that. I think if you thought about it, there'll be so many flaws in all of the Marvel movies. There's so many times that things don't just make sense. They write away from it so they don't have to answer it, because you can't. There's literally a puzzle piece of things that will break apart, I think. Especially when you come to fantasy or superhero powers.
True. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, I'm glad you got to see it. I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
I did. I thought it was much better than... Maybe because I went in with such low expectations after everybody had decimated... Well, critics had decimated it. I went in and was like, what? This was great. Like, compared to Thor, Love and Thunder. Come on. It's like, give me a break. Sheep. The goat. Shut up. It was funny the first time. The 7 times after that, not so much.
Yeah.
Now your weapons are sentient. Now every kid has powers. Shut up. Sorry.
No, you're right. That's well, and there's a whole rant in there that we could,
yeah, exactly.
So you good to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. My last one is going to be very short. Okay. I made the trip into San Francisco to a press screening of this because first off, it was not screening in my area. It comes out this coming week.
Yeah.
And it is a Finnish movie called SISU.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous that you've seen this, man.
I didn't know anything about it until I took my wife and son to see John Wick. I'd seen the screener, and then we bought tickets so that they could see it. And that played beforehand. And in the trailer, it shows a giant knife go through a dude's head. You get to see a landmine being thrown as a frisbee. And I'm like, dude, I'm so here for this. I don't know what this is about.
That.
Yes. Yeah. So I got to see that. The embargo is not up yet, so I can't really talk about it, but I did a social reaction, so those are okay. So I can give you a little bit of just a little bit of my feeling on it.
Yeah.
It the story's thin. The action, the reason that you are going into this is for the action, and it does not disappoint. Sweet. It is, and this is one of those, and I'm going to say this in my review too, because this is one that you want to see with audience. Because
reactions of what's going on.
The reactions, there are so many times where the audience is like, oh, or oh, or oh.
Okay.
It was just time after time after time, and you watch visceral movements from the audience. And so this is one of those that it's still going to be entertaining at home.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be nearly as entertaining as that collective, like,
right.
So, yes.
Okay.
I'm excited for you to see it too, but does it open this week for you, or is it coming later? That's so stupid.
Probably will come next year sometime. I mean, literally just this week, we just had Missing come out.
Serious? That's already been on digital, I believe.
Yep.
What? Well, that makes no sense as a business model. Why would they do that?
Also, they released it the same day as Evil Dead Rises. So.
Oh, so it's guaranteed to take.
Guaranteed. No one's watching it. Yeah.
Why and for that movie, why would you go and pay the extra for the theater when you could just pay like the $5 or whatever to see it on demand and
or not?
Be good?
You can just stream it for free on the thousands of websites that are on there using a VPN.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, well, that's true. Also, yes. Not that we're supporting that
No,
or
I'm just
endorsing
saying
that, but
all the comments on like the trailers are like, I've seen this 3 months ago. What's happening? And I'm in the UK or one of the other places that haven't had it. It's like, yeah,
everybody outing themselves on their piracy.
Well, what are they going to do? Like at this point, you've shot yourself in the foot, man.
That's what a dumb business. They need to start doing just global releases and calling it good. You know, the world's too small at this point to not have the global releases.
Sure.
So, anyway, okay. Do you have more?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
Before I talk about the one I actually want to talk about, I'll do a quick plug. This is a film that, again, I think, let me just check, that I think critics didn't like. And I get it. And I went in skeptical. I went in, this is going to be poo. Just by the title alone. I was saying that. It's not as bad. It's 77% on critics and 94%.
Oh, wow.
With I didn't know. I thought I was the only one. Okay. So, did you ever get to watch Plane, the sequel, which will be Boat?
No. No, I haven't seen that yet. But I do know that a lot of people were surprised by it. They were like, this was actually fun.
It's not that it's just like you went in with low expectations. It's like, this is a Gerard Butler movie. Because he's done loads. And he's done some that are just like, oh. But he's done some that when the action is right and the script is halfway there, you're like, that was good. It's one of those that I wouldn't mind putting on again, now and again. You know, those sort of action films?
Yeah.
This has it. And in the 4K, it's fantastic. It also has fantastic special features. This is your captain, plain clothes. I love what they've done. So they've done all like the really just tongue-in-cheek, brace for turbulence special features. I was like, come on, well done, guys. So you have the Blu-ray and the 4K. It looks fantastic.
Nice.
But you know, Mike Coulter, I think he's fantastic as well. Those two together, Mike Coulter plays like the bad guy with skills. And then you have the captain who has some skills, but he's kind of got to kind of rely on, and it's just, you're in on it. You are rooting for them to survive. There's like the family element that they got to get back to, but also all the passengers of the plane, you know, apart from the harrowing experience of like how they kind of survived the plane crash. Yeah. Then it's where they've landed with like basically people wanting to sell them into slavery. And it's like an action film there with great hand-to-hand combat sequences, action, all of that, like I'm sold. So that comes out, I believe, on the 24th, at least in the UK on 4K. It's on digital right now. So give yourself a go. Like if you want to add something to your collection that you probably haven't seen, because I think a lot of people looked at the title and went, come on, like that's so...
Oh, totally.
You've named your film Plane. and the memes, Boat is the sequel, which I kid you not, I think is in production, and I think it's called Boat.
Yeah, and it's Mike Coulter.
Yeah.
Is leading the... Yeah,
and he was great in it, so I'll watch it. But then you're going to have, like, helicopter and... there's so much fun you can have. A boat on a plane.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad. I do need to see it. Once everybody was talking about how, you know what, this isn't actually that bad. It's fun. Like, okay, that's, you know.
So... To Catch a Killer came out to cinemas locally, I think, at yours. It's not out yet, but it's coming to Sky.
Okay.
Seriously dark, intense, slow burn, but flipping brilliant. Shailene Woodley is a cop who kind of gets recruited by the actor Ben Mendelsohn, who plays Jeffrey Landmark Hughes, and FBI specialist who's come to deal with the case of a mass shooting. And that obviously is not new in America. That's been happening all along. But rather than it concentrating on the mass shooting and dealing with that, it's concentrating on trying to catch the person and getting to know the two main protagonists. So you get to know some of the history of our two main protagonists, which gives depth and makes you care about them, but understand where they're coming from. And then you see the politics of navigating a case like this. So everybody wants to catch the killer and have it be their collar. And then you have the FBI guy who just wants to catch him and stop him from doing anything in the future. And so you start, you as the viewer, you on the case with them. You see them piece it together and always just kind of behind, like almost managing to get that thing that's going to help them catch it. And then something will trigger it, whether it's because politics has gotten in the way and another agency has messed it up, or given the guy, like, kind of let him know like where they are, trying to catch him, that kind of thing. And then he'll go and do something else. And it's just like more harrowing. So I think for people that have experienced a mass shooting or have a loved one, this may not be the film for you, because we'll definitely bring up some stuff. It is harrowing in places, but it's beautifully filmed, beautifully acted. I was very impressed with this. I've liked Shailene Woodley as an actress for a while. I know that the Divergent series wasn't very well received, and there was going to be a series with her, and that got cancelled. I remember she was on the plane, and she thought she was doing a series, and they cancelled it on Twitter. They didn't tell her.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But she's been in Big Little Lies since, and I know a lot of people are raving about that series.
That was a great series, yeah.
Well, there you go. And then Ben Mendelsohn, who is fantastic. I won't say who the killer is, because that's like a spoiler, and you're on, so you want to know. But yeah, really, like, if you like a good tense thriller, it's dark. I know you do.
Yes.
I think this is going to be phenomenally acted. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, sweet. I'll be on the lookout for that. Yeah, I'll have to see if it's. I don't know if I saw any theaters around me that it was playing at yet, but that doesn't mean anything. So, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, that's all on my list also. So we thank you for joining us, for hanging out. Hopefully that you got some enjoyment out of these. We would love to know, what is the best thing you watched? Let us know in the comments below. If you listen to podcasts, if you have never listened to podcasts, we invite you to check ours out. We've linked it in the description below. This week, we are adding a new feature where not only do we talk about a movie that is either a first-time watch or it's been a long time since either of us have watched it. We do a review on that. We talk about some entertainment news. We talk about some of the things that we are looking forward to coming up. But then also this week, brand new feature, we're going to talk about the worst thing we watched. Or maybe not necessarily the worst thing, but just a bad thing that we watched. Something that we want to kind of maybe rant about, complain about, whatever, but it doesn't make the best of list. So there you go. As I said, you can click on the link in the description below, and it will take you right to that. And there's a ton of them there for you. Speaking of a ton of content, our patreon.com/thebeardedones. That's also linked in the description. We have a crap ton of content there for you. £1 a month gets you in the door. We have a couple that are behind or outside of the paywall so that you can see what we get up to. We would love for you to just go check that out. See if that's something that you'd help to like to support. Those funds go to help offset the cost of this production, because there are fees involved in what we do. Then, you know what? Like, share, subscribe. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday. Me, Chris, Movies and Munchies. And with that, I think, we'll see you next week. All right? Take care.